Hey, everyone out there. Thank you so much for tuning into another Addicted Fishing podcast. I'm excited about today's episode because today we're talking about one of my favorite fisheries in the Pacific Northwest. And it's kind of sad because I have so many memories of this fishery over the years that are gone now, and we don't really get to do those fisheries anymore. So we will touch on some of that too in this episode because I know you're sad about some of that stuff too.
Yeah.
But we still have some good opportunity left with these fisheries. And so me and Jason are going to talk all today about summer steelhead fishing here in the Pacific Northwest. All the rivers up and down Washington, Oregon, even into Idaho. Tons of opportunity to catch summer steelhead.
For sure.
And so we're just going to touch on all that. We're going to talk a little bit about the different seasons, when the best time to catch them is, give you some tips on how to kind of find them by looking at hatchery plants and things like that, and just really dive deep into summer steelhead. It'll be fun.
Should be good. Should be good. Yeah, like you said, there's still a lot of opportunity out there, just not as much as it used to be.
For sure.
Yeah.
But before we dive too much into the big, deep summer steelhead conversation, guys, we got to give a huge shout out to Fish USA, because Fish USA is today's sponsor of the podcast, guys. And Fish USA has not only become a partner of ours, but just friends of ours. Like, we love all the guys that work there. We've built this super good relationship with them, and we love Fish USA, guys. So if you don't shop on Fish USA's website, check it out. I always try to tell people, like, hey, I know the struggles of being in the Pacific Northwest and not being able to find the product you need. So whenever you get into that scenario, just go to Fish USA, because they typically have what you need, and they typically have a lot more than what you need. Then you end up spending more money than you want to.
They have these little niche products and just stuff that you don't always see over here in the Pacific Northwest.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
Cool.
And then if you're a walleye fisherman out here, or even anywhere in the country, if you're one of our followers listening to this podcast, like, they don't just service salmon and steelhead. They have walleye, bass. I mean, they're starting to get saltwater stuff. They have literally panfish, catfish, you name it. Every species on earth you can find tackle on Fish USA. So shout out Fish USA. And with that being said, we actually brought Nolan into the podcast today. So Mr. Nolan from Fish USA is with us. Nolan, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, thank you for having me, guys. My name is Nolan Pyle. I've been in several Addicted videos, so you guys may have seen me there, but live out here in Erie, PA, where Fish USA is headquartered. I kind of handle a lot of the media that goes through the marketing side here, and absolutely love to fish, and we're located in one of the best places in the country to do it. So,
but you guys have some deals going on today on your website, correct?
We have some phenomenal deals. And as Marlon just said, we do have a kind of multi-species selection, not just salmon and steelhead. Today's deals are really bass focused, but these are incredible deals. I mean, everyone's fished a Senko before. We actually have Senkos on sale now, which is something you very rarely ever see, but also other products like Zoom, jigs, stuff like that. And this weekend...
Do you have black and blue laminate Senkos?
We 100% do.
Oh,
we actually,
I need
this is kind of a fun fact. We carry more Senko colors than anybody else. So we have a couple exclusives, and we also carry every Senko color that exists. So
Sick.
we have,
whoa.
I'm going.
From.
That's what I need, because I went bass fishing for Memorial Day. I went to a lake in Lincoln City called Devil's Lake, and they just would not eat anything but Senkos, dude. And I just blew through a lot of Senkos. Like, I need to restock big time.
Well, this will be a perfect day to do it. We also, we recently just posted a YouTube video of a bunch of the new urchin baits that we're carrying. You know, obviously that's like the hottest thing. We did a bunch of underwater footage with them, and we posted it to YouTube. So you guys should go check that out too, because it's pretty cool, and it's amazing that those baits catch fish as well as they do. But they catch them. I mean, it's unreal. So that's some pretty cool stuff that there's not a lot of out there that you can check out on our YouTube channel. But this weekend as well, we've got some crazy deals that I'm not even going to say exactly what they are, because I'm not sure that I'm actually allowed to promote them in any other way, but in an email and on our website. But you guys will just have to go to fishusa.com and check out the sales page and see what they are. They'll be running, Saturday and Sunday.
Nice. Hold the people in suspense. Make them go to the website. This is how you're going to find out.
You have to go to the website and check it out, because they're deals that on a certain brand that we very rarely ever get to run.
Ooh.
Nice.
Some exclusive.
That'll be cool. Cool. All right, Nolan. Well, now let's talk a little bit about just fishing. You know, like I'm just really curious, like to kind of touch on, you know, we're in Washington, Oregon. A lot of our followers and people that are listening to this podcast are usually in the Pacific Northwest. I know we got guys over there. I know we got guys kind of scattered throughout the whole country and even some in the world. So what fisheries do you have going on right now? Like as we go into June, July, August, let's just maybe cover those 3 months. Like what are the popular things guys are really chasing out there?
So here in Erie, it is not even close. By far, number one is walleye. I would say right now, the walleye fishing on Lake Erie is untouchable anywhere else in the country. The numbers that you can catch, like, you know, Lou and I have been going out and just kind of drifting with a worm harness, and you can reasonably catch 30 to 50 in very little time. It's super fun, and obviously they taste really good. So, you know, you get your limit every time, but it's an absolute blast, and the weather's beautiful. So walleye fishing here in the summertime is just incredible. But also we've got great bass fishing. You know, the smallmouth start to get out on the lake and get a little deeper. So you can fish that kind of 20, 30 plus foot range with a drop shot and catch them pretty good. And you go over to Lake Ontario, and the salmon fishing is phenomenal. You know, out deep offshore trolling. It's really good this year. Like I went out there a couple weeks ago, was trolling with a friend, and the size is a little bit down, but the numbers are just unreal. I mean, mostly Chinook, but you're getting a ton of bites a day. I mean, it's not uncommon to get 30, 40 takes a day trolling. So,
oh, that sounds fun. That sounds a lot different than when I went out there. It seemed like we trolled all day for like maybe 5 bites.
And that's how it is a lot of times. And
but they were big. They were big when I was there. Yeah.
Like it's kind of the opposite now. You're getting a ton of bites, but you know, even an 18 to 20 pounder, which is pretty common sometimes, is a pretty big fish right now. So
nice.
Yeah,
it's
really, a lot of fun. So summer
really,
up here in the Great Lakes region is incredible.
I haven't spent a lot of time out there in the summer. I've only been able to go out there mostly in the winter when it's brown and ugly. So I want to try to get out there more in the summer for sure. It's just hard because it's so busy. You know how it is, Nolan. It's like there's just so much going on in the summer.
For sure. I mean, I get it. It's, you know, and you don't want to leave as much in the summertime just because it's nice and spending time with the family and stuff.
Well, and we have so many epic fisheries here. You know, our fisheries are so epic in the summer. It's hard to like leave them. For sure. Because it's really fun here, but it's not. Fall and spring for me here, I have way more fun. You know, it's that you guys saw the epic steelhead fishing that we have, the giant brown trout, the amazing smallmouth fishing, all that stuff is way more accessible in the summertime or in the fall and the spring. So summer, summer, it's just a little bit less exciting, you know? Yeah, for sure. Well, with that being said, we should sneak peek a little bit out. Actually, I'm going to bring Jason, I think, with me. I was thinking maybe me, Jason, and Colt, Nolan, but we might come out there and do some fishing with you in November, huh? Yes, sir. You guys absolutely need to. I'm looking forward to it. Got to make it happen. Yeah, so we want to go out there, guys, and chase brown trout again. So I've caught a couple brown trout over my lifetime, but I'm fiending to just catch them in the rivers, and I'm fiending to catch some bigger ones, you know, some ones that are even in the like 5, 7, 8, 10-pound range. And then maybe have the chance at one even bigger. Yeah, let's just go straight to 15. Yeah. You might. It's possible here. It's that's a big one, but they exist for sure. Yeah, it seems like people are catching them every year, but those ones are definitely a little bit more rare. But it seemed like, 5 to 8 pounds was pretty common, like from what I could tell in a lot of the fisheries. Yeah, especially that time of year. Yeah. That's an epic fish. Seems like an unreal trout. Yeah. What? Well, dude, and you're fishing for them like steelhead. Yeah. I'm excited to go check it out and try it. Should be sick. I've never caught a brown trout before. How cold is it, Nolan? Is it brutal? No, not typically early November. I mean, it's hard to say because, now that I've said that, we'll probably get a massive snowstorm. but it's kind of a toss-up. I mean, I would say average temp around then is, in the like 40 to 50 degrees. So it's not terrible, but, every once in a while you'll get some awful weather around then. But yeah fingers crossed that we get it right. We were shooting kind of for that and like right there in that first part of November. So that's the peak for the Browns. It's that,
last half of October into the first week of November. It's a much shorter window than the steelhead fishing for it to be really, really good.
Yeah.
So that's kind of when you got to be here.
Cool, man. I'm looking forward to it. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it should be fun.
Awesome. Well, Nolan, we're going to let you kind of bail out of here. We appreciate you tuning in with us and hanging out. And like I said, everyone, make sure you guys check out Fish USA. And Nolan's going to be on our live stream tonight as well. So if you guys watch our live streams, you guys can see that as well over on the YouTube and Facebook channels. So
looking forward to it. Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, Nolan. We'll see you later, man.
Cheers.
See ya.
All right. Now we need to talk some summer steelhead, baby.
Yeah, that is. I mean, they're here.
They're here. They've really started to show up in strong numbers early. We've seen it in the Big River, and we've seen it in some of the tribs.
And some of the tribs are looking extra good compared to, the last couple of years this time of year. I've gotten a handful of reports from buddies that are like, oh, yeah, dude, we rolled down this one flat, and there was 30 of them sitting over there. I'm like, that is very, very uncommon for the first half of June.
Yeah.
That's usually more of like a end of July, mid to end of July thing.
Yeah, I always say, first to second week of July, it seems like they really start showing up, and then by third week of July, we got a lot in the rivers.
Yeah.
But how do you find them? So that's one thing I think we should start with. Like, if you're out there and you want to go catch summer steelhead, the first thing you need to do, whether you're in Washington, Oregon, Idaho, or any place that has summer steelhead, is go to the website. Go to ODFW, go to WDFW, go to Idaho Department of Fish and Wildlife, and just look where they plant summer steelhead. Because there's not a ton of wild summer steelhead runs, if any, that I even know of. I'm sure there are some, but they're not that good.
Right.
And they're tough fisheries. And so your best bet's going to be trying to figure out where the department stock summer steelhead, right?
Yeah, where's the target rich environment?
Yeah, because you ain't going to catch them if you're not fishing on where the fish are.
Got to fish where the fish are. That's a fact. And I would say to that, double check every reg and make sure that it is open, because I know a lot of recent closures, recent stocking cuts that are causing river closures and so forth. So check your regs, make sure everything's open.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And then once you figure out what the rivers are, guys, I always kind of start with trying to figure out where the summer steelhead are going to be. And usually when we get in the summertime, a lot of these rivers are going to get low, they're going to get clear, and the steelhead are either going to be looking for deep, dark holes or super oxygenated water. And so I always try to focus on, a lot of times what I'll do, especially if we've had low waters, I'll start first lower in the system. And I'll try to find what I always call the stacker holes. And these are going to be the first deep, green, oxygenated holes that these summers can find. And usually, if you start there, that's a good place to start.
Yeah, definitely more of your salmon-style water.
Yes. Yeah, and that's as these rivers get lower. Some of these rivers, are going to have flow the whole time of year, the whole year. And then usually what I'm looking for is just that summers just seem to like more current. They want to sit in more riffle. They want to sit in more current. They don't want to sit in these slow, deep holes.
Either more or less.
Either more or none.
Yeah, literally.
And that's what's weird with summers. It's they either want to be in fast current or they want to be in
nothing.
Your bobber's not even moving.
Yeah.
The summers are weird like that. And usually when they're in those holes, it's because they're deep.
Yep.
And so they can get into that cold water, into the deeper water. And then a lot of the deeper water is just more oxygenated.
That, and they just don't have to expend any
Zero energy. Yeah, they can just sit there.
Tail kick per second for 5 seconds.
Yeah, because a lot of these summers, guys, are coming in these rivers sometimes in April, sometimes in March, late March, and then they're not going to even spawn until October, November. So they're
sometimes even later than that.
Yeah. They're in the river for a long, long time before they spawn. So usually wherever they end up, they don't want to use a lot of energy.
For sure.
They don't want to use a lot of energy. But as these fish are migrating upriver, you're going to be amazed at how fast the water these things will sit in. They will sit in fast riffles, fast current seams, abnormally fast water than what you would think they would be in. They will sit in that as they're migrating upriver.
Especially if there's any sort of structure in that fast water.
Yep.
I remember my first summer steelhead that I ever caught was right in front of this big boulder, and this water was ripping. I was like, I'll just make a cast right here. Dude, the spinner hit the water, and I thought I grabbed the rock. and it
Just
was
bit it instantly.
dude, just as soon as it hit the water, blade probably fluttered once and the thing just crushed it.
And that's the fun thing about summer steelhead is they're so aggressive.
Dude, insanely aggressive and hard fighting fish too. Like especially like, you know, especially if you're catching them like right now, you know, let's just say, you know, midway through July, you know, and earlier, usually the water temperature is still pretty cold, especially, you know, tributary stuff. You know, it's going to be colder than your Columbia River stuff or any of your big tributary rivers. But yeah, they're hard fighters. Hard fighters. They're not like a winter steelhead where the water's all cold and they're all lethargic. No, these things are piss missiles.
And they jump a lot, which is fun.
Yeah.
I love summer steelhead, and they are aggressive. They're one of the more aggressive, you know, Andromedas fish that we have for sure.
And there's the cool thing about summers too is there's so many different ways to target them. I mean, you have your spinners, you have your float fishing, but there's a handful of different tactics, you know, sub tactics, I should say. You know, you can do your float fishing, but you can float fish a bead, you can float fish a night crawler, you can float fish a freaking coon shrimp, a worm, a jig, you know, a bear jig, a jig tipped with sand shrimp, a jig tipped with prawn. There's so many different presentations that you can use. Big jigs, small jigs.
Well, let's talk about it. Let's break it down a little bit because we're going to get a little bit more detail in here. So as we are entering the river to fish for summer steelhead, I'm usually packing 2 rods, sometimes 3. I'll usually have a rod that's got a spinner tied on it, and then I'll usually have a rod that I can float fish with. And usually with that float fishing rod, I'll either be coon shrimp and just doing like a straight up bobber and bait, or I'll have bobber and jig or bobber and worm. Or sometimes if I'm really on the fish and I've been getting them consistently and I don't have to hunt a lot for them and I know where to go, I'll just bring 3 rods and I'll have a coon shrimp rod, a jig and a worm rod, and then a spinner rod. So I don't have to sit there and try to rotate back and forth. But 9 times out of 10, guys, I have a float rod and I have a spinner rod. And usually how we're approaching a lot of these holes is we're going to go into the hole and that we think maybe holding a steelhead. We're going to float fish it. We're going to use like a jig. We're going to use a worm. We're going to cover it pretty good. Usually on our jigs, we're baiting them. Like almost every single time we're not. Summer steelhead, more than anything other than like a springer, they just want bait.
Yep.
Like they just bite a lot better when there's a piece of meat on the end of there.
They're hungry fish.
Yeah. So I'll usually have like a piece of prawn or a piece of squid or a night crawler or a piece of coon shrimp or whatever, just something on the end of the line to entice them. But worms work extremely well too. Like I have caught a ton of summer steelhead on worms, a ton. So don't sleep on them. Like, especially in like our local river, the big one, like they just love worms on that river.
Yeah. My biggest summer steelhead came off a worm on that river.
Yeah. So you can't sleep on it.
Nope.
But then the really, really deadly method, guys, is just fishing like a bobber and bait. Like whether it's a bobber and coon shrimp, a bobber and sand shrimp.
Dude, sand shrimp is such a sleeper.
Oh, it's deadly. And
everyone just sees sand shrimp as a salmon bait. And dude, let me tell you, a sand shrimp tail on a size 2 bead hook, dude.
Money.
Oh my God, they crush it. I mean, it's, yeah. I almost prefer it over coon shrimp sometimes.
It can. I usually don't fish it as much because of how like sensitive they are. Usually only get like 1 or 2 casts out of a sand shrimp versus a coon shrimp. I can get sometimes 5, 6, 7 casts out of a coon shrimp.
For sure.
But you're right. Like sometimes that sand shrimp just works better.
Mm-hmm.
Like it just straight does. So that's what I definitely would do. Now let's talk colors. Or before we talk colors. So we would do that. We would fish that. We'd fish a jig. Then we'd fish bait. We'd kind of do a combination of both probably through the hole. Then we'd get aggressive with it. Then we'd rip in there. Sometimes I like to fish a couple different types of spinners. Like I might go in first and not fish a blue fox. Blue fox tends to be pretty loud, aggressive. That, that bell is clanging that metal underneath the water and it's kind of pissing that fish off. So sometimes I'll go in there first with just a torpedo body. Just get it down there, not having make as much noise, but it's got that flash. And then I'll come in with a blue fox behind that and just really rip a blue fox around. And then sometimes I might even throw a spoon and just try to see if I can really piss them off to get them biting. But hardware is probably the best. Like there might not be any other better bait, like a You know, I always say like a size 4 blue fox, if you only had one lure to fish for summer steelhead, a size 4 blue fox would be it.
I was literally just going to say if I could only take one rod to the river, it'd be a spinner rod.
Yeah. Yeah, because you can cover a ton of water. You can fish all different types of water with it. And then those summers just, they key in on it, dude. They're just aggressive to it for some reason. So
flashy thing, kill.
Exactly. Exactly. So yes, definitely fish your summers through there. But let's break down colors. Let's go back to like float and jigs a lot. So we have some new summer steelhead jigs coming out on the summer merch drop on June 28th, guys. We have some really sick ones with king jigs that's kind of like almost like a fly jig hybrid. But one of the things I always try to tell people with summer steelhead jigs is I always tone back my colors drastically, and I always try to use jigs that aren't these like big glorified nasty jigs. Like I always try to use toned back stuff. Like even on the sink it jigs, I cut them down a lot. I'll trim the material down a lot, and I'll put a piece of prawn on them. But my favorite colors are going to be reds for sure, reds and blacks and cerises. Like I really like that, like purpley cerises, pinks for summer steelhead.
I was just gonna say I really like the pale orange, like not a hot pink, but like a pale pink, basically, or white. I really like white jigs or black, all black. And then the
black on black sink it with a piece of prawn on it is absolutely deadly.
Yeah, the old cop car jig.
Mm-hmm.
But then just all purple with maybe a pink head or something like that.
It's funny that you say that because one of my buddies, he swore by the all purple with the bright orange head.
That's the one.
He swore by that jig. Like he said that was just a summer steelhead killer.
That's the one. I wasn't gonna say it, but you did. So
I never could do well on it.
I'll go ahead and say it. That is probably my top jig.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That or hot. Sometimes it pays, like I just said, pale colors, but sometimes it pays to just be bold and loud. And I've had a lot of luck recently on a hot gloss pink jig head, the black body and a blue collar. Just crazy looking jig, but man, it freaking smokes them.
Probably something different.
Exactly.
Something different.
And an eighth ounce size. You know, if I could get it in a 16th, I'd probably prefer that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to talk about next was like downsizing, because that's another thing I do a lot, especially as fish get pressured. You know, if you're in any of these like hatchery scenario situations, that's where like having random colors that are different than everyone else, but also downsizing your presentation, smaller jigs, 16th. Sometimes I've even had to go down to 1/32. And if you do a 1/32 jig, I'm telling you guys right now, with a little tiny piece of salad shrimp, sometimes in those pressured scenarios of summer steelhead, it's the only thing they'll eat. And it can work really good.
You ever do any free drifting? You ever done any of that?
I have back in the day. I don't do a lot of it now, but yeah, it can work really well.
Dude, that is some of the best. That might be one of the best summer steelhead bites.
Free drifting eggs, we didn't talk a lot about eggs, but like eggs there's nothing better than eggs for steelhead, like period. Like,
yeah, just a tiny little dime-sized bait, like, and a lot of times you're using Springer eggs because you've used all your fall, the bait that you got off your fall fish for Springers, and oh man, I gotta have a little bit of bait for summer steelhead, and you catch a Springer that has somewhat
underdeveloped eggs.
Yeah, somewhat decent sized eggs, and you end up curing them up. And honestly, I think a lot of it just has to do with that presentation. Like I've done a lot of free drifting with beads, and that works.
So how are you doing that? A size 2 bead hook again, or what are you doing?
It just depends on the presentation size. Like I'll even go down to a size 4,
like a little dime-sized piece of eggs.
Dime-sized piece of egg, probably a size 4 hook.
And then how are you doing it? A piece of pencil lead or something?
No, probably just a couple of I think they're size 7 split shot, or size. They might even be size 10 split shot. They're tiny, but I'll use like 2 or 3 of them. But yeah, it's basically nothing, and that is, literally bare bones. I'm not even using a 3-way swivel. I'm just using a barrel swivel, and clipping the split shots on my bumper line.
Yeah.
And the bite is so much fun.
Yeah, I bet. It's really fun to feel them eat it like that.
It's really fun when you can watch them with, like, a couple of years ago, Hayden and I went on a float, and we saw these fish just, like, ducks in a row, just headed straight upriver, and I chucked my beta eggs up there, and I could see the beta eggs falling into the line of fish, and then it drifting out, and then one fish just freaking turns hard U-turn straight for the bait and just chokes it.
It's the best when you watch him eat
It
it, dude.
was so cool, dude. But
I absolutely love when you watch it eat it.
yeah.
There's no, so don't discount eggs. Like eggs they're absolute dynamite.
But like you were saying, the downsizing thing, like downsize jigs, downsize your hooks, downsize your leader line.
Yep.
Like I'll even.
So what about beads?
Beads?
Like I know Colt and Hayden swear by beads for summer steelhead. They catch a lot of fish on beads for summer steelhead. I don't tend to fish them very often. I've gotten a lot more into fishing beads over the last couple of years for winters, but I still have not really fished them much for summers.
The thing about beads is you just have to fish tiny beads. I mean, the biggest bead that
they were fishing 8 mils when I was with them.
I was going to say the biggest bead that I will use for a summer run is a 12 mil. And I've gone all the way down to literally like a little like hardware bead, like terminal bead.
Like a 6 mil.
Literally like one of the 4 or 5 mil freaking Brad's red beads.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, those can be insanely good sometimes. Sometimes
Crazy.
you stack 1 or 2 of them up, on top of each other. But, dude, I've had some killer days.
That's crazy.
Killer.
Yeah, I don't fish a lot of beads, but yeah, I wouldn't discount them because I know Colt and Hayden catch a lot of freaking fish on beads.
Yeah, and that's a definite downsize. I think when I was doing that was 3 or 4 years ago when I was, really into the raft guiding for summer steelhead, and I was literally fishing 6-pound test and size 4 hooks. And honestly, with our new bead size, the new bead hooks, the 8s and the 10s and the 6s, I probably would have been down to like a 6. Probably would have been down to like an 8, honestly, with that bead size.
Yeah. That's so crazy.
Dude, it's so wild, dude.
But I mean, you think of fishing a 32nd ounce jig, like they're teeny.
Yeah.
They are microscopic, but they freaking work.
They do. You'd be surprised how big of a fish you can land on such a small hook.
Yeah.
I mean, shoot, look at us all wintertime. We're, hunting for that one, and I'll use a size 4 hook, and that's what you hooked your big fish on.
Yeah, size 4, yeah. Yeah, you have the right hook, especially like the addicted bead hooks or any manufacturer that makes a really good, strong hook. Like, you can do it. You just got to know how to fight them.
Yep, that's for sure.
That's why I always laugh when people are like, I've been out a bunch of your hooks. I'm like, well, you probably need to learn how to fight your fish. But like
that, or you should probably size your test down a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, they're not really made to hold up to 30-pound fluoro.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that bends it out a lot easier, that's for sure.
You can pull a train with 30-pound fluoro.
Let's talk a little bit about summer colors, spinner colors and sizes. Like, I would have to say, we already brought this up, but like the size 4 Blue Fox in blue, metallic blue, silver blade is easily my number 1. I would say number 2 behind it would probably be the Michael Jackson, which is like the black glitter body with the silver blade as well, but I like to have it have that chartreuse tip on it. Those two are probably like what I fish most of the time, and I'll do that both in the torpedo body and in the Blue Fox, kind of like that bell body. Yeah.
You're just doing top 2?
If I had to pick a 3, and it's going to be that chartreuse body. Like, I do really well on that like chartreuse greenish body. Summer's just sometimes it's like, I think it's the same thing. It's that wild factor. It's like that like weirdo different thing that they haven't seen.
Yep.
Sometimes there used to be an area that I'd fish that was so good. Like, we would always catch so many fish up there. And I would always start out with a size 4 Blue Fox, blue and silver, and I would catch a couple. Like, a lot of times I'd hook 1 or 2 on it, but the second I'd switch to that chartreuse, it seemed like I'd hook a couple more.
Chartreuse or Kelly green?
No, chartreuse.
Chartreuse.
Like the yellowish green.
Yeah,
it's like, in the Blue Fox, it doesn't really look chartreusey. It looks more green than it does chartreuse, but it's definitely chartreuse.
Yeah.
It's almost like the pop-off chartreuse.
Yeah. I would say my top 3 spinners, and I'm going to be honest, I'm more of a Blue Fox guy through and through for summers. I would go probably copper, all copper for my number 1. And then all black copper back blade for number 2. And then number 3, I'd go blue and chrome, blue and silver.
so not too far off. But
Not
the
too
copper,
far.
the copper's definitely dynamite. Like
Dude.
that's a
Copper is
when I fish spoons, it's like primarily copper.
sometimes what I'll do with that copper, with that all copper, everything copper, I'll put a little piece of tape, like a pink, I don't know, pink scaled tape. I think that's what I was doing a couple years ago. Was pink scaled tape on the back of the blade. Dude, it was dynamite. It looked so sick.
Yeah, and it's different.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times on these pressured scenarios, guys, like just being different it helps a ton.
And that's where I did most of my guiding was something, more on the pressured side, and upriver, not so tidal area, tidal zoned, to where those fish had to, be in the system for a few days and go through a handful of anglers before I got to them.
Yeah, before they saw your baits.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's where all this stuff, like we always like to call the extra 5% makes a big difference. And speaking of that, like the next big thing that I do a lot, guys, with on my spinners, on my baits, on everything is scent. Like there's a reason we created the Addicted Steelhead blend in oil, gel, and we created Winter Chrome blend and sauce and water soluble. Like Steelhead are very keyed into scents and things like that, especially summers. And I'm telling you, like, buy and use the Addicted Steelhead blend because it will help you a lot in these summer steelhead trip fisheries. Like there's times where it's crazy how well it does help. And
we market the Winter Chrome blend for winter steelhead, but it works very, very well for summer steelhead.
Yeah. Coincidentally, they like eggs, huh? And there's one of the main ingredients in that Winter Chrome blend, guys, is eggs. We're not going to tell you what else is in there, but one of the main is eggs.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have thought that.
Yeah. But yeah, winter, the steelhead blend, guys, and then we also make a trout blend that I've used for steelhead that works extremely well. It has a little bit of a garlic scent. So if you're getting into scenarios where you have warmer water temperatures, like our Addicted Trout blend works really well for steelhead.
That's one that I haven't really dabbled with very often.
It has some garlic in it, so it's got a, but it's, trout love garlic, so that's why we put garlic in the trout blend.
Yeah.
But it does work well when you get a little bit warmer water temperatures for the winter steelhead. And I was seeing guys out in the Columbia have been doing well on garlic.
For summer steelhead.
On garlic.
Yeah.
So.
Doesn't surprise me, man. Fish are weird.
Yeah. What do you think they think when they think garlic?
It's that wow factor. Wild factor, I think.
Yeah.
Because I I like garlic, but I don't know if I'm like dying over it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So let's talk a little bit about rods and reels and stuff for summer steelhead. So I have usually a couple rods. Like my float rod setup for summer steelhead, I like that Okuma makes a 9.9 that's a 6 to 12 pound rating. It's a little bit lighter, still extremely well, casts extremely well, has a nice warranty. It's the Guide Select Pro and the 6 to 12. I like using that with a 3000. I put an ITX reel on mine. They make a ton of different really nice reels. I just have used the ITX for years, and it's been a good reel for me, 6 to 1. And then on my casting reel, they make a 9.9 X rod, and I really, really like that 9.9 X rod for casting my spinners, for casting my spoons, anything summer steelhead. And then I actually put the X series reel on there. It's only a 100 series reel, but that's all you need for summer steelhead. It's got plenty of drag. It's got plenty of line on there. It casts extremely smooth, real smooth. Never have to worry about backlashes.
Yeah.
So that's what I have my summer steelhead set up. That X Rod 9.9. I think it's rated like 8 to 15 or something is what the rating is on it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I cast my spinners and spoons with, and then I usually have those 9.9, 6 to 12s on my float rods. Sometimes I might fish a 10.6 if I'm in a bigger river where I know I need that length, but usually not. Usually we're brush hogging for summer steelhead, and we're trying to take gnarly trails and stuff, so I like a little bit shorter rod.
Yeah. I that's what I own, 10.6s or 9.9s. So my ideal summer steelhead setup would be probably the 9.9. I like a little bit more backbone for my rod, so I'll go 8 to 17, and then a 3000 or 4000 series reel. Probably nothing overkill. You don't need a whole lot.
No, and the reason the summer steelhead tend to be a little bit smaller, guys. They're not as big a fish as winter steelhead. You don't have near as much current, as much flow, and I like to enjoy it. So that's why I use a little bit lighter rod for sure, because it's a fun fight. Steelhead jump a bunch. They make epic runs, but you don't need a ton of power. You're not catching, you know, if you get a 15-pound steelhead, summer steelhead, that's a monster. Like, we don't see very often very big ones. Like, usually the average is 6 to 10 pounds.
I had a custom rod made a handful of years ago, and it's a 9'6", 6 to 10, and it might even be. I think it's 6 to 10, but it is a super noodle, and it is so much fun to fight fish on. I'll use it for side drifting most of the time.
Nice.
Perfect side drift rod.
Sometimes it's fun just to use stuff to make the fight more fun.
Yeah.
To make the enjoyment of catching the fish a little bit better.
For sure.
So that's why I love trout fishing, dude. Like, trout fishing with ultralight rods, like, a lot of people poo-poo on it, but, dude, it's fun. Mm-hmm. It's a blast, like, to go out there and catch trout on little tiny rods. It might as well be a steelhead when you're fighting it on a little rod.
2 to 6 pounder.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun. I enjoy doing that for sure.
Yeah.
So one thing we didn't really cover a little bit, which is really important in a lot of our summer steelhead fisheries here in the Northwest, is tides. And have you found on any of our rivers, like, better, like, is it better on incoming? Is it better on outgoing? Like, have you found certain scenarios where you feel like, okay, I want to be fishing incoming tide for these summer steelhead or outgoing tide for these summer steelhead? In the trips.
Yeah.
And it kind of probably depends on where you're at in the river.
Yeah, I would say, if you're in the tidal section, like where you have tidal influx on your section of river, I would say the most productive times I would say would be the last 2 hours of the outgoing pull and the first hour, first 2 hours of the incoming push. You kind of have like a 4 to 5 hour window. Like, you could potentially sit on 1, maybe 2 spots,
and a megawatt will move through,
and there will be a constant flow of fish coming by you. And I've had it even to where fish have just been so weird. Like, either people trying to get them out on the Columbia or people down below me in some situation. But I've literally had fish come up to my boat and swim like halfway up the water column, look at my boat, and turn around and still dodge my gear. They are very weird creatures.
Mm-hmm.
They
can get finicky.
Super finicky.
They can get finicky and tough to catch.
Even in tidewater when they are super fresh.
Yep.
And
it's probably just attributed to what they've seen as they've come up the river, spooked them.
Probably.
Trying to evade sea lions or whatever else.
But going back to that, I was sitting on a spot where I knew I had good tides, and I knew there was, consistently fish showing up on every tide sequence. So I timed it. It was it was perfect to where it was high tide. I could motor up and I could sit in a spot and float down on my way out, and I'd catch that, basically the whole outgoing. But then you really started to notice that number of fish starting to show up the last couple hours of that outgo, and then that first hour to 2 hours of that incoming. Mm-hmm. I would say that the down to up is what you want to look at.
It makes sense.
Down to up.
That makes a lot of sense. Sweet, dude. Well, what else are we missing? What are we not covering for summer steelhead? Like,
I'm
I feel
sure
like
there's a ton of things. I'm sure there's a ton.
You think weather makes a difference? One of the things that was really important to me back when I used to be really crazy about chasing summer steelhead was getting out there early. Like, I felt like not only pressure on the river, but boating traffic, kayakers, rafters, inner tubers, whatever it may be. I've always found that, like, getting out there 3:30 in the morning, 4 a.m. in the morning, as the sun is coming up, as it's just getting light, like, is your best chance at catching these summer steelhead. Like, it sucks to get up. I'm the same way. I freaking hate getting up early, but sometimes you got to catch them.
I would agree. I would say that first couple hours of, legal fishing time is your best, highest odds. You have a very good chance at catching them.
Yeah.
But I would say anything after about 10 o'clock, that sun starts to get high in the sky, they get spooky.
Yep.
They get spooky real quick.
For sure.
Real quick, because you've already been casting on them for 4 or 5 hours.
And it's not to say you can't catch them, because I've had some crazy days where I've just like smashed them in the sun. But but again, like, we're just trying to give you guys tips to maximize your opportunity and maximize the amount of fish you hopefully are going to catch by going out there and chasing these summers.
Yeah, get there early and often, and consistency. If you want to learn how to really catch these fish and learn a pattern of these fish, go all the time, as much as you possibly can. You know, sometimes, you know, it's light outside at, 4:15. You know, you can get there, especially if you start work at 7, 8 o'clock and the river's, 20 minutes from work or a half hour from work. Time your day out to where you can go fish for a couple hours.
Yeah.
You know, it could be worth it.
Well, and another really good thing to do that we used to do all the time, and I know it sounds weird, but like, we would do little lunchtime adventures. And like, a lot of times you get the pressure in the morning, you get all the guys fishing it, you get all the guys hammering the river, and then everyone kind of leaves.
Yep.
And then those fish get a little bit of a break between like 10 and noon, and then we show up at noon or 1, and you're not going to bang them, because like Jason said, like, when that sun's hitting them, they're just not, it's tougher to catch them.
Yeah.
But there's been many times where we've just ripped up to the river on our lunch, made a few casts, and caught a summer, because they've had a little bit of a break from people hammering them in the morning. And then I always say after work. Like, I've had some of my best days like that last hour of daylight. Like, it seems like the summers, when they've been sitting all day or pocketed up all day and they've been getting blasted all day, and then we start to get a little bit less light, they start moving. And
that
so
water temperature cracks down a little bit.
Yeah, but I always see them moving. Like, there's been multiple times where I've been in these areas where I just know steelhead move through, and all of a sudden, like, the last hour of light, you just start seeing them.
Yep.
Like, they just start moving a lot more. And so try to go after work. Get off work 6 o'clock, fish till dark.
There are some opportunities, too, to fish at night for these things.
Yep. That was what I was going to talk about next. Because I want to do it, and me and you have been talking about, like, we got to get some night lighted wiggler missions planned.
Yeah, it's an insane bite. I have done it a handful of times, and more often than not, at least once a trip that I would do it, we would get a diver and bait or a plug takedown, and we wouldn't even know we have the fish on until the fish is jumping.
And you hear the drag peeling.
You just hear the drag peeling, and then the fish, and sometimes the fish will just have it in his mouth and have it for a while.
Yep.
And then start jumping before it even peels line.
And for years, we couldn't get lighted wigglers.
Yep.
And now you can get lighted wigglers.
Now we got them.
Those things are absolutely deadly for summer steelhead, like crazy good. Like, they make them in the magnums, they make them in red, they make them in green blinkies, but we got to get some trips on the books to do that this year.
We should definitely do a couple of them.
Yeah.
They kind of screw you for the next day, but it's so worth it.
Yeah.
So it's so much fun too.
I was thinking
cool
like
too,
going out at like 9 and fishing while it's still a little bit light out, and then just fishing into the dark until like 11 or something, 10, midnight, and then go home.
Could do that.
Like, because so many fish move that last, like, they sit all day, and then those first 2 hours, they just seem to move.
Yeah.
And we saw it back in the day, like, when you used to be able to do a lot of that night fishing. Like, those first 2 hours when it gets dark are always just good. Like, they can be good.
Yep, that witching hour bite for sure.
The witching hour bite. All right, guys. Well, I think we're going to call this podcast a couple quick announcements before we leave, though. But hopefully that gave you guys a bunch of tips on everything summer steelhead. Hopefully that'll get you out there to be more successful this year chasing these things in the tributaries. Hopefully there's some good tips. Make sure you guys drop some comments, share the podcast out there. We're really trying to do better at recording a bunch more of these things. So listen to them, tell your friends. Let's get a bunch more listeners in the Addicted Podcast. Quick announcements. You already heard this at the beginning of the episode, but July 1st, we'll be at Les Schwab, Mission Street, guys. We want a bunch of you guys there. We want to fill that building with addicts. We're going to be giving away tons of gear. We got gifts for the kids, gifts for the veterans, first responders. We make it a blast, guys. There'll be food there. There'll be drinks there. Like, get ready. Mark your calendars. July 1st, 6 to 9 p.m. at Les Schwab on Mission Street. We want to see a bunch of addicts there. And then June 28th, guys, summer merch drop. You heard me talk about it already in a lot of previous podcasts, but summer merch drop, lots of limited edition stuff, lots of things that we want you guys to get your hands on and that you're going to be excited about. So, yes, mark your calendars for that as well, June 28th. And then, as we've said many times, like we did at the beginning of the podcast, we talked all about summer steelhead. Jason is going to be doing some summer steelhead trips, guys. So if you want to get out, catch summer steelhead, learn about some of these things that we just talked about, maybe expand on your knowledge of what we just learned, it's a great opportunity right now to call Jason and do that, because there's some enough fish around. You know, we don't have a lot of other fisheries going on, so if you want to just get out, go fishing, enjoy the nice weather, and learn a thing or two, and hopefully put some summer steelhead on the barbecue, hit up Jason, steelobsession.com, get on the books.
July is the time, man. July is the time.
Yeah.
Gotta
Anything else?
That's pretty much it, man. I mean, but before we know it, we're going to be at Buoy 10.
We will. We'll be down salmon fishing. So thanks so much, everyone, for listening. Appreciate you all. Till next time, we'll see you on the river.
Cheers.